Hello and welcome to my channel. Say hi to a happy day. In this channel, I would like to share tales and stories I personally picked and or my kids' favorite book stories. Let's enjoy listening while I read to you Disney's The Princess and the Frog. Ever since she was a little girl, Tiana loved to cook. Tiana and her friend Charlotte would talk about their wishes for the future. Tiana's mother was Charlotte's seamstress. While she sewed beautiful dresses for Charlotte, she read stories to the girls too. One was about a prince who had been turned into a frog. There is no way in this whole wide world I would ever never kiss a frog, Tiana declared. Charlotte said she would. Charlotte desperately wanted to marry a prince, become a princess, and live happily ever after. But what Tiana wished for on the evening star was to open a restaurant with her father. He told her she must work hard to make her wish come true. Never lose sight of what's really important, he said. When Tiana got older, she remembered what her father had told her. She worked hard at both of her waitress jobs so she could make money and open that restaurant in an old sugar mill in town. Her father had passed away, but Tiana was determined to see their wish come true. One day, Charlotte shared some exciting news. "Oh, Tia," she cried, "did you hear? Prince Naveen of Maldonia is coming to New Orleans, and Big Daddy invited him to our masquerade ball tonight." Big Daddy was Charlotte's father. He was also the king of Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Charlotte asked Tiana to make 500 of her famous beignets for the ball. Tiana agreed, and Charlotte paid for it. Tiana couldn't believe it. She finally had enough money to buy the old sugar mill. She met with the Fenner brothers, and they agreed to start the paperwork. Meanwhile, Prince Naveen had arrived. He listened to some jazz music and danced. His valet Lawrence tried to tell him that they were going to be late for the ball. At this point, you have two choices: woo and marry a rich young lady or get a job, said Lawrence. Naveen was a prince, but his parents refused to give him any more money. He had come to New Orleans hoping to solve his problems. Just then, the evil Dr. Facilier stepped out of the shadows and said, "I'd wager I'm in the company of visiting royalty." Prince Naveen was flattered. He and Lawrence followed Dr. Facilier into his lair. Dr. Facilier told the two men that he could give them what their hearts desired. Persuaded, Naveen and Lawrence shook Dr. Facilier's hand. As evil voodoo spirits swirled around the room, Dr. Facilier pricked Naveen's finger and conjured a magic necklace. The deal had been sealed. At the masquerade ball that night, Charlotte couldn't wait to meet Prince Naveen. Little did she know that the prince who arrived was no prince at all. It was Lawrence disguised as Naveen. The magic necklace had transformed him. All along, Lawrence had wanted to become prince. Tiana was handing out beignets when the Fenner brothers told her that they had sold the sugar mill to someone else for more money. Tiana was heartbroken. Just then, all her beignets fell onto her. Charlotte sent Tiana upstairs to get cleaned up. Alone, Tiana went out onto the balcony and looked up at the evening star. Just then, a frog hopped over the ledge. "I suppose you want a kiss?" she said jokingly. When the frog spoke back and puckered its lips, Tiana screamed. After Tiana calmed down, the frog explained to her that he was really Prince Naveen. He insisted that if Tiana kissed him, he would transform back into a prince. He promised her a reward. Tiana thought of her restaurant and knew what she had to do. But the kiss didn't turn Naveen back into a prince. It turned Tiana into a frog. Tiana screamed again and both frogs fell out the window onto the dance floor. As people at the ball tried to catch them, Naveen and Tiana grabbed some balloon strings and floated into the sky, safe from the humans. When Dr. Facilier learned that Naveen had escaped, he was very angry. They needed to keep Naveen trapped so that Lawrence could remain disguised as the prince and marry Charlotte. Then, Dr. Facilier would get rid of Charlotte's father and take over New Orleans. They had to find Naveen as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Naveen and Tiana had been carried by the balloons to a swamp. Soon, a bunch of alligators swamped up and tried to eat them. Tiana and Naveen scurried into a tree. They slept there that night. The next morning, Tiana and Naveen were greeted by another alligator, but this one was friendly. His name was Louise. Tiana explained their situation, and Louise suggested they find Mama Odie. "She's got magic," he told the frogs. Tiana and Naveen were so excited they were going to become human again. As they swam along, they began to fall. Just then, a lightning bug named Ray showed up. He informed them that they were going the wrong way. He offered to take them to Mama Odie's. They stopped to rest for a bit, and Tiana showed Naveen how to mince mushrooms for some swamp gumbo. "When you live in a castle, everything is done for you," Naveen admitted. He tried some of Tiana's gumbo. "It was delicious. You truly have a gift," he told her. Then they danced. Finally, the group arrived at Mama Odie's. Tiana and Naveen told her that what they wanted. "You'd want to be human? But you're blind to what you need," Mama Odie replied. But she agreed to help them. She stirred her pot of gumbo and an image appeared inside. It was Charlotte and her father dressed as royalty. Big Daddy was the king of Mardi Gras, which made Charlotte a princess for the night of Mardi Gras. Naveen needed to be kissed by a true princess. Tiana and Naveen realized that if Naveen kissed Charlotte before midnight, they would both be human again. They had to get back to town. They hurried off and hitched a ride on a boat. By then, Naveen had realized something. He loved Tiana. He wanted to tell her, but he didn't know how. The two frogs sat on top of the boat. Tiana excitedly pointed out the sugar mill that she still hoped would be her restaurant. As long as Naveen kissed Charlotte, Tiana would get her reward. But Naveen didn't want to kiss Charlotte. Realizing that he couldn't help Tiana, he hopped away. Suddenly, evil spirit sent by Dr. Facilier snatched Naveen. When the boat docked, Tiana couldn't find Naveen. Ray told her that the prince was in love with her. Tiana was so happy. She felt the same way. Just then, Tiana saw Charlotte in the Mardi Gras parade. Charlotte was with Naveen, and they were about to be married. Devastated, Tiana didn't realize that Lawrence was disguised as Naveen and that the real prince was still trapped. But Ray managed to free Naveen and grab the necklace that Lawrence was wearing. Then Tiana smashed it to pieces. As soon as she did, the evil spirits took Dr. Facilier away. Tiana and Naveen told Charlotte the whole story. Suddenly, the clock struck midnight. It was too late. They would remain frogs forever. But that was okay with Tiana and Naveen. They had found true love and they decided to get married at the swamp. Mama Odie declared them husband and wife. As the frogs kissed, magic swirled around them. When they opened their eyes, they were human again. Once Tiana became Naveen's wife, she was a princess and the spell was broken. Later on, after much hard work, Tiana and Naveen opened the restaurant Tiana had always dreamed of. Finally, they both had everything they ever wanted and the only thing they truly needed: love. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story of Disney's Princess and the Frog. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to listen to more of our favorite book stories. See you soon!